Hi world.
Hello.
Random delay there.
Good afternoon, I'm sleepy, leave me alone.
So today we are going to go through sideline clams. We're going to do it more in an isometric to start off with, and then we'll worry about the rep side of it. The reason why we do isometrics first is just to get the brain and tissue connected, so you can start feeling what tissues are we really trying to target. Okay, so there's no good banging away with a load of reps unless we know where that tissue is that we want to target. So Liv's going to lay it on her side. She's going to get her butt to the camera.
Butt to the camera. I'm famous.
She's famous. So we want to set ourselves up. So there's a bit of over 45, maybe close that knee up a little bit more. Key with clams, you'll see many guidance and bits and pieces saying that you're okay like this. We're not going to target that glute med, okay? Glute med sits just behind that hip bone. It's the nicest place to put it. So always make sure that hip stays slightly rolled forward. So Liv's going to put her fingers on the side of her hip here. You find that bony part of the femur, so the greater trochanter, and then you're just going to slide those fingers just behind it and sink into the soft tissues. So before we even think about lifting this knee, what we want you to do is use these fingers as a tactile response. If it means you need to give it a scratch, feel free, but we want you to try and tense that tissue as hard as you possibly can. Okay? And so if it doesn't want to respond, then just give it a rub, give it a scrub. From here, we want to use your left hand if possible on that femur.
Can I have a block, please?
Sure. Rest your head on the block. Somebody's being needy today.
Oh!
Keep the fingers there. Okay. If this is too much of a hassle for you, then we can always bring this hand down, but you just need to be aware where the tissue is. From here, we're going to gently pivot that knee open, keeping that tension there, using our opposite hand as resistance, and we're just going to squeeze there. We don't care about the height. We want to keep the feet in contact with each other. We just focus on getting in there. What does that feel like?
Feels great. One tip that I have for doing this is push your feet, both feet together and into the floor, drive your bottom knee into the ground, and then peel apart. So we're creating contact, firm contact with the ground with that bottom leg and pushing those feet together as we peel that glute open.
Cool. Key thing we want to avoid is rolling that hip back as we pivot up. There's no point having that leg all the way up here if you're back through this point. It's not going to keep that tissue engaged. So pelvic floor core go on. Okay, we find that greater trochanter, we let those fingers sink in those tissues behind. We then engage those tissues, try and push your fingers away, and then we, as Liv says, drive those feet together, drive the bottom leg into the floor, and we gently pivot open. We don't care about height, we want to keep control and keep that burn in there. Hold it 5 seconds, lower it back down. And we repeat that as many times as you as designated in your toolbox. Give it a go, let us know how you get on, and we'll see you on the other side.